In this course we will be looking at the work of John Constable, how he created his paintings, in particular his oil sketches. They were very expressive, often created en plein air, and what we're going to be looking at is how we can be inspired by these works and how we can feed some of his approach into our own practice. So here's part of a demo. At this stage, I'm blocking in the sky. I want to work quickly, and here I'm working over a ground of burnt sienna, thinned down with mineral spirit. The burnt sienna gives a nice warmth underneath the blue that I'm putting on top. When painting, I tend to work with mid-tones initially. With this, you can either go darker or lighter. From observing how Constable created his oil sketches, this is how I believe he'd done it. So it was that idea of building things up through mid-tones. You get the general atmosphere and the sense of the scene, but because things are so fast moving, one wants to get the general tonal elements in there. And for me, mid-tones create that. They give us much more leeway then to describe things with tone and colour. Here I'm blocking in the basic shapes of my clouds, again relying on a darker mid-tone to do so. What I'm going to do now is start to bring in a slightly lighter element, as you see, and I kind of tease these things in, slowly blending them into what was before. And you see it taking on now a subtle three-dimensional shape. Next, I start to add the lighter tone on top of the clouds. Notice how I'm using the brush as well. I'm not brushing in a linear fashion. I could describe this in a way as scribbling with the brush. I'm bringing this lighter tone in and slowly doing this broken blend as I bring it down into the shadow parts of the cloud. I will now add a little bit more light towards the top, and again I bring it into and blend it into what is already there. You see, if it sits on its own like that, it's a little bit too obvious, so it needs that dry brush blend. My next step is to start adding some trees for my horizon line here. Again, I'm suggesting these trees, as I have done with the clouds as well. I want to create this sense of it being an impression of the scene. I'm using a dark colour. My palette is ultramarine blue, burnt sienna and yellow ochre. You notice here how I'm using the brush in a very similar fashion to how I was painting the clouds, just to, again, suggest rather than describe a tree line on the horizon.